I'm on my way to the Disco at Eastmark, I believe, which is a new course for me. It looks pretty short, so it's going to be a lot of Challenger SS's and probably some zones and maybe some other stuff too. But I'm just going to kind of dink around and then talk to you guys about my 2025 season, which was my best season yet. Had a lot of top 10s in contention, a lot more than any other season. And then obviously one of my biggest dreams came true when I won the Discmania Challenge, which was incredibly special. So thank you guys, first of all, if you've been following my journey for any amount of time. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad we finally got it done. So I'm gonna get back to driving here and then throw some shots and get into it. All right, we made it. This is the place. I think it's gonna be pretty fun. Should have some ace opportunities, but before I get into this video, guys, I want to do a, hold on, okay, perfect. I wanna do a little Q&A video. So let me know in the comments below what questions you have for me, and they can be as crazy or invasive or inappropriate or whatever as you want. Can't guarantee I'll answer every single one, but I think it'll be a fun video. Let's try to get some aces today. We got some good opportunities. I feel like this hole's like very ace. It's like it's borderline begging for an ace, I feel like. Let's try it. First throw of the day, go a little Charlie SS. Guys, that could be it. No, too high. Too high. Let's try one more. Little Annie. Nope. Dude, this course is low-key difficult though. Like I'm one hole in, it's always smoking me. Okay, so in this video, I want to get into what I think kind of helped make this season my best one yet. And I'm gonna start with 2024. 2024 season was actually really bad. I was in contention for a win a couple times early in the season, and then my game fell off a complete cliff. Played absolutely horrible for the last like 5-6 months of tour. Ended up missing the tour championship. Definitely one of the lowest points in my career. You know, I see myself as like a top player, competitor. I want to be like in contention and actually winning events. And so to have a disconnect from what's in my mind with that thought to the way I was playing was really difficult, or really just like depressing, I guess. So not very fun. And the thing is too, like I enjoy this game the most when I'm playing really well. I play to compete and win and be in contention and play well and succeed. And I don't just like play to play. So unfortunately, well, maybe not, I guess, I don't know, but it's like it's a little bit difficult to really enjoy the game if I'm like playing bad, you know. So the funnest part is playing good. So it ended up just kind of being not the most fun of a season. Now when I'm playing well, super fun. I have like some of the best times of my life when I'm playing well. Not very fun. So that's fun. You know, it's fun. But there just wasn't enough like highlight good moments or good rounds or tournaments, especially towards the end of last season, for it to be the most fun time. And so I kind of felt like I had to make a change to make this life a little bit more fulfilling or enjoyable. So I want to get into the stats real quick first. This hole is actually pretty cool. Looks like it might be kind of difficult to find the basket. See if we can find it here. Charlie SS, skip up. Buffalo zone, flick. I've been trying to fix my timing or improve my timing on my forehands. I feel like sometimes I get too soon with my pull through, whereas if I let my foot plant and then the timing of it can kind of all go through, seems to work a lot better. I can get that like actual pop that I want. Just feels so much better than when I rush through the stroke. Ooh, that one was close to the pin. All right, stats. On the DGPT website, they've got like super nice graphics and all this stats. I think Statmando provides these, but I can kind of get into the nitty gritty here. Looking at this pie chart, definitely had more birdies, 43% versus 39%, and then a lot less bogeys or walls, 15% versus 20%. I feel like that's a really good change. And then the same amount of pars, which is, well, same percentage of pars, which is kind of funny. The OB rate came down quite a bit as well on that, which is really nice. I think that helps a lot. And if we look at the bottom of that, looks like all the throwing stats were way better this season. So fairway hits, 75% versus 74%. I think it's actually better to look at the placement on that. So 21st versus 44th, because that kind of adjusts against the field. So if the courses get way more difficult, then that's a better metric actually than the percentage. So that was twice as good in that stat. Circle 1 in regulation, 7th versus 34th. So that's probably the most important stat, is how many birdie chances you're giving yourself. And so that C1 in regulation is really important. So that one's way better. C2 in regulation, slightly better, and then parked a good amount better as well. Scramble, way better as well. So it's really nice to improve my throwing, since that's kind of what's, I felt like, held me back a lot in the previous seasons from like being a top tier player. And then the putting was actually just very similar. Putted a little bit worse from C2 this season, actually. My putting was so good at the beginning of the season, and then after a couple months, it just kind of slowed down and didn't quite have the make percentage that I was having early on. So hopefully I can get that dialed in for the entire season next year and get closer to like a 90% C1 number would be really nice, and then still above 30 for C2. They've also got some more stats as well that goes a little bit more in depth. So again, all the throwing stats on this page better than the throwing stats from last season. Now obviously the stats are going to be better for 2025 because I was 11th in standings versus like 35th, so it makes sense that it's better, but it is kind of cool to see the actual numbers. I think one of the biggest things is that OB rate was 76th on tour versus 37th this last season. That helps a lot if you can keep the disc in bounds. Eagle or better was about the same. Birdie percentage 23rd versus 12th, so that helps a ton. Par percentage not too much different. Bogey and double bogey percentage is huge. 68th to 19th, 67th to 47th, so I improved a ton on like my bad holes, which is really important because sometimes those can just ruin a good round. And then yeah, again, the putting, not much different, so hopefully I can get that improved a little bit too. But it's really nice to see my throwing in a positive trajectory, and that's what I want to continue working on for 2026, because that's really where the strokes are. If you can throw the disc inbounds, give yourself opportunities, you're going to make some putts, you're going to stay away from trouble, and you're going to score and actually be in contention. So let's get back to the shots. Actually, real quick, here's one more stat. Vouri makes awesome clothes. Check it out. All right, guys, I have partnered with an apparel brand that I've genuinely been loving for so long, Vouri. Whether I'm hitting the course for a practice round, traveling to the next Pro Tour event, or just relaxing during this off season, Vouri just works. Disc golf demands clothes that move with you, so Vouri is perfect. They're thoughtfully designed for movement and built for everyday life. They take that relaxed coastal California vibe and blend it seamlessly with technical, intentional fabrics. I love that they're all about creating an effortless, versatile wardrobe that performs. It's not just sportswear, it's everything else too. I really like the linerless core short because of its classic athletic fit and moisture-wicking 4-way stretch fabric. It honestly makes me feel like a true athlete. Seriously, throw on the Stratotech tee and you'll instantly know what I'm talking about. It's ultra soft, super comfortable, and honestly looks sharp enough to wear off the course as well. It's exactly the kind of comfort and performance I need on those long practice days. So if you're looking to upgrade your closet with clothes that look good, feel great, and perform when you need them to, you've got to check them out. And as a special offer, first-time purchasers receive 20% off their first order when they sign up for emails. I've got a link down below so you can head to Vouri today to check out the entire collection. Trust me, you'll love it as much as I do. Buffalo. It's towards the end of the 2024 season. We're up at Maple Hill, and I actually have a conversation with Yuli kind of talking about how bad my season was, and you know, it just kind of sucked. And so he kind of made the point that as athletes we kind of need seasons like that sometimes to kind of light a fire under our butts and kind of force us to like make change that can hopefully make you strive for success a little bit more. And turns out Captain's got good advice. Turned out to be right, I think. But he doesn't throw a Charlie SS, I don't think, so that's where he is wrong. But see if we can get this one in. It's just a fairway finder, man. It's like, it's just great. What if I threw a little forehand into that wall? Let's go cap wrap. See if that works. Oh, I mean, still good. So I ended up basically asking myself if I was truly doing everything I could to give it like my 100% effort. And I was still practicing a lot. Like I grinded hard that year on that sense, but there was some things that I thought I could maybe change off the course that I felt like would be giving it my full effort. I kind of felt like I needed to just go crazy. Like I needed to be different, you know, and if you want to be different, you have to be different, right? If you want to be extraordinary, you can't be ordinary, right? So I wanted to go a little psycho, kind of like how I was back in the day when I moved into my Toyota Prius and went on tour, which is kind of a crazy thing to do looking back on it. But at the end of the day, that's kind of what it takes, is I would not be here now if I hadn't done that, if I just stayed back in South Dakota. My life would be quite a bit different. So you kind of have to be crazy in order to get crazy results. And being exceptional at something or being the best at something, not a normal thing to do. Anybody who's crazy good, Michael Jordan was crazy, Tiger Woods crazy. Like these people that are just insane at whatever they do, you gotta be insane. Charlie SS got the CTP on the cap wrap. But gotta get those putting stats good for next year, man. Start now. This is crazy, guys. We've got like a full-on Fountain Hills type tee pad right here. Let's throw a couple of fun discs, a couple of newer discs from the Discraft lineup. I'm gonna throw the Paul Macbeth Testi Lento Malita and the Test Flight Page Pierce Joy. Very, very similar profile, and they fly kind of similar too. Let's see which one gets the CTP. Okay, kind of a low drivey guy. Inbounds, in C1. The Joy's got to clutch up. Just soft, buttery tone. Do it. Do it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. See, if that would have gone in, there would have been so much joy. And it would have been a really good named disc. But instead, it's just crippling disappointment like every other missed ace. So I decided after 2024 to try to lower my dopamine levels, kind of make myself bored in a sense, to hopefully make my interest level in disc golf as high as possible. And honestly, since doing this, I feel like boredom is such of a powerful tool and kind of unutilized, just kind of the way it forces you to think, but I'll get into that a little bit later. A couple of distractions I gave up right away. One was like doom scrolling. You waste so much time on social media. So that was like a positive one to cut out. Part of the reason I wanted to cut out a couple of distracting things or like dopamine things was to prove to myself that I really wanted to play good. I wanted to make some sacrifices to be like, listen, man, you want this, you know, you got to kind of prove it to yourself. Honestly, I would like see people in comments say like, oh my gosh, such and such a player just wanted it so badly this week. And I'm like, what's that even mean? Like, are they trying to say that, you know, anyone who lost didn't want it? It's like, how can I make myself, like, what if I don't want it enough? How can I make myself want it more? So I was kind of trying to figure out a way to kind of do that. There was a quote that I like, which goes, you can do what you will, but you can't will what you will. Which this was kind of my way of trying to cheat that and change what I wanted, basically. And I wanted to just like get really addicted to disc golf, you know, make it like the only thing I think about all the time, since I didn't have anything else. Since it's so much easier to play when like your interest level is super peaked, you know, it's all you think about. And so it ended up being a really positive and productive off season, and that's what I'm looking for this off season as well. Hopefully we can have just as good of a one. Turns out the Melita did get a little bit closer than the Joy over there, but the Joy had the ace run, so it's kind of still up for debate. That one's got a chance, I feel like, if it gets through. It did not go in, but pretty good. So I do want to shout out Nate Doss, actually. Before the season actually started, when I was down in Florida, I had a phone call with Nate that was pretty productive, I felt like. I had some conversations with Bob Julio, the team Discraft team manager, and he thought I could benefit from Nate's perspective, which turned out to be good advice. And one of the things that I took away from that phone call with Nate Doss, three-time world champion, pretty legendary stuff, was to not just like grind super hard all the time, right? He said he would have like these Monday fun days where he would kind of just chill out for a day, which I think is really beneficial for kind of just like resetting your mind and again building that interest back up to where you really want to go out and play. And so I think having him tell me that kind of made me feel like, okay, well, taking days off is kind of part of a strict regime, and it's actually what's going to help me play the best. And so I took a couple trips mid-season last year. I went to Alaska and I went to Banff, and I think both of those little trips kind of were good like resets. You know, it kind of made me excited again to go back out and play and compete and practice and everything. So probably going to be continuing that for next year too, and just make sure I rest well just as hard as I walk, basically, if that makes sense. After all, God made the earth in 6 days and rested on the seventh day, so I think rest is an important part of walk. But let's make this little putt, huh? This next hole is ridiculously short, so I'm going to throw a putt to it, but then I'm just going to combine the next two and play one to the long pin. That seems like a more interesting shot. This would be the hole to eighth, but that's a pretty pathetic bid. This hole, though, has to be pushing 350 up the middle. See, low-key, it has some stability to it. It's about pin high. It's not as unstable as I think people would expect. Definitely not as unstable as I would have expected. What if I just threw a little passion at it, though? Really fast and low. The only distance control you need is to throw it into the ground, which I kind of did. Cut rolls right to the basket. 2026, guys, that's the new meta. So if you aren't doing that yet, use that ground play. So 2025 actually started off a little bit slower than I expected it to. Florida was a pretty bad tournament. And so then I asked myself if there was anything that I was addicted to more than disc golf, and if it was something I could cut out. One thing that came to mind was music, which I don't think music's a bad thing at all, but it was like, am I putting this above disc golf? Let's cut it out. So I stopped listening to music by myself, at least. If I'm in the gym, they play music, I can't really help that. But like in the car, or you know, walking out or practicing or whatever it was, I just kind of stopped listening to music altogether, which, man, that was a tough one, because I would listen to music all the time, and I wanted it to be something like, it was something else I could sacrifice and cut out and prove to myself I wanted to play good, but also I wanted to see what would happen to my mind without that noise kind of constantly going on in my head. I feel like a lot of us use music or any entertainment source like doom scrolling as a outlet to just distract ourselves from thinking. And so I wanted to see what would happen to my thoughts and my mind if I cut it out. Passion ended up pretty good, if you ask me. The Joy snuck OB over on that right side, but had good distance control. So my play did start to improve after that. I had a couple like 20th place finishes in Texas, and then I got 10th place at Nashville, and kind of in contention at Kansas City, but it wasn't enough. I wanted more. And so then the next thing I was thinking, like after music, I was like, what else am I putting on a pedestal potentially over disc golf? And I came to lifting, going to the gym. So I was like, can I cut this out? And I decided to kind of. It ended up being kind of a good time to dial back to lifting as well, since this is part of the season when I started traveling a lot by plane, going back to Europe, back and forth. And so I wasn't gonna have as much access to a gym anyway. So I was like, you know what, this is the time to try it out. And anytime I would tell people that I walked out 6 days a week, no matter the week, even if it was a tournament week, people would always think I was crazy. So I thought, maybe they're right. Maybe I am crazy. Maybe I should dial it back. So I stopped lifting on tournament days and just on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, basically. Maybe Sunday night sometimes too. But that was a tough one, because like I think lifting is such a good positive thing, but I was like, it is, but maybe it's a negative thing for disc golf. So let's see if this is a positive thing for disc golf ideal though. Oh, I think I babied it though. Can't see the finish, but it's short and left. What if we do like a little flex shot? Try the Zone GT. That's a better one. Niklas, or Isaac, or Nico, or Gannon, or anybody that's good, pretty much. Those are little flex shots. One other really small change that I made, I think this was before Nashville, I started snacking mid-round, which is something I almost never do, but I would see other people do. And so I thought, let's add it to the list of things to do. Maybe I need to get a little energy boost mid-round, I don't know. And this part of the season actually started playing really well. I got like top 10 almost every other weekend with some tournaments in contention too. So things were definitely moving in the right direction. And I'm honestly not sure if any of these changes that I made had like a direct impact on my play, or if they were just in my head and just like kind of, you know, fake, but my mind thought they were real, which honestly, good enough, right? It's like, even, you know, placebo's a real thing and works sometimes, so it doesn't really matter if it was real or not, if it worked. With that being said though, I do feel like it was actually positive changes. I think not walking out before tournament days had a positive effect in the way of just kind of giving myself some more energy that I wasn't just spending towards working out, that I could apply to practicing or playing in tournaments. And I think removing some of those distractions was positive too, because it's honestly just an escape from thinking. And so forcing myself to think was really good. And I find that for me, when I get really bored and I'm forced to think, a lot of the times I think positively. I think of ways I can like improve my life in some way. And so that's kind of what ended up happening. I ended up kind of becoming a student of the game more. I would think like, okay, well, how can I hit these angles more? Or how can I improve my putting or my jump putting or whatever it was? And I would honestly find that I would kind of exhaust my thoughts sometimes to where I would just not be thinking about anything. I'd be like driving my car to the next tournament and I'd be like, there's nothing going on up there, which sounds kind of dumb, but it was kind of nice. Just like, I felt like my mind was a lot more clear. I've been like listening to music and doom scrolling a little bit more now since it's the off season, and I just feel a little cloudy up there. So definitely probably gonna be going back to no doom scrolling next season. See, my putting sucks too now. What is that? Get in there. All right, well, can't have them all. Guys, these holes are just right in front of me. It's like, I feel like we gotta get metal at the very least today. Right? If it fades? No. It sucks when like a good shot like that is just so bad when the goal is ace. Forehandski. Too low. Skip up. hit pole? Nope. So anyway, this is when the crazy travel part of the season kind of started, right? I went back and forth to Europe 3 times, flew to the West Coast and back, and ended up spending, I think, like 2 months overall in Europe. But I wanted to give this season everything, and I ended up being, I think I was the only player to play every single Pro Tour and major event, which definitely a grind, but I'm really glad I did it. Okay, different background because I missed filming this in the actual video, but it is important, so I'm gonna stick it in here. I've always been a big fieldwork guy throughout my career. A lot of practice putting, a lot of fieldwork, and then play like around a day. But with all the travel that I did, I was really interested in trying to do less fieldwork and do like 2 rounds a day a lot of the times. And so I started doing that this season, which I think was a good change. I think having the bulk of my throwing practice on an actual course was actually beneficial because it's a lot more engaging, and sometimes going to a field can be kind of boring. And so I think it was a good change to play 2 rounds a day a lot of times and just throw more shots on the actual course, get actual shot shaping in. Obviously, you can do some of that stuff in a field as well, but it's just kind of forced on an actual course. So that is one change that I made on the actual like practice side of things. It was this kind of like middle part of the season too that was like the 4 months of play that was the best of my entire career. I ended up going 10th at Music City, in contention at Kansas City, went to the West Coast, got 8th at the Champions Cup, went to Alaska for a week, came back, played Cascade, was in contention, flew to Europe, played bad, came back, played Portland, got 5th, flew back to Europe, played bad, came back to Minnesota, got 10th, went to Banff up in Canada with my brothers, came back and played the Discmania Challenge, which I won, and it ended up being obviously one of the highlights, probably the highlight of my career and one of the highlights of my life, honestly. It was such a special moment to have that dream come true. That was something I've been chasing for so long, and then to have my brother Judah on the bed caddying for me all weekend as well made it that much more special, and just so excited. You know, it's like that made the whole season so much better, my whole career so much better, and it's definitely a moment that I know will kind of cherish forever, which is super nice. And you know, I can't ever go win my first ever Pro Tour event for the first time ever again. You only get one chance at that, so I'm glad that it was a special one, and just the way it all worked out was really cool. So after that event, I was 5th in standings, which is a pretty elite level. That's kind of where I want to be. I want to be one of the very best players. And then had to fly to Europe, got a lead call round 2 at PCS, then fell off, got 6th at Krokul, played like trash in Estonia, played the World Championships where I shot what some people think is maybe the best round of all time, 14 down at the Monster, with my dad on the bag the whole way there as well, which made that even more special. Unfortunately, did not hold on to the lead, but I did play pretty solid still to get 4th place at that tournament, which is, you know, it's the World Championships, the biggest event of all time. Super exciting place to be, so many fans. Really cool to be on lead card in contention at that one. 7th in standings at that point in the season, which again, really solid. And then I had to come back to America. Before I get back into this breakdown of the season recap, I've realized this course is set up very strangely. I just played 9 holes all in one direction, and then the other 9 holes of this course is the opposite direction, but hole 10 is by hole 1. So I have to just walk this entire course backwards to get to hole 10, and then play 9 holes away from the parking lot just to walk all the way backwards again. So very odd layout. I feel like they could have done something different. Maybe not. I don't know, but we're getting our steps in today. That's for sure. Good thing I got shorts on this beautiful Arizona day. I do wear shorts sometimes, guys, you know, especially when they're VYs. All right, so it was far enough to where it actually made more sense to drive to the other side of this course. We thought some of the walks had like ledgestone or bad. Holy smokes, but we back. Hole 10. Bro, not just another foot of height. Too much to ask. This is the real play. Oh, can you see it? Probably not. Dang. Okay, so I'm not sure why, but historically in my career, whenever I come back from Europe, I seem to slow down. I seem to just not play as well back in America. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's the courses, because I feel like my game transcends pretty well. No matter where I play, I've had really good tournaments on any kind of course, basically. So I don't know if it's just it's towards the end of the season, you start to feel a little fatigued. That off season starts to sound pretty nice. The interest level drops a little bit, maybe. I don't know. It was a stretch too where it was just like back to back weekends. And so maybe I didn't do enough like Monday fun days like I talked about. And I should have taken a few more breaks. That was one of the things I did before the World Championships, Sunday before. I did actually take a day off. Well, I didn't play. I did do some putts and a little bit of field work, but I didn't play the course. I just felt like the rest was going to be beneficial, and I think that was the right decision. So maybe next year I need to figure out a way to do a better job of that. So when I come back to America and play Ledgestone and play D-Glow and play GMC and MVP in those tournaments, I have a little bit more fire and play better, because I just can't afford to slow down, you know? Now, I did have a 10th place finish at D-Glow. It's kind of nice to have a decent finish there at the Discraft home tournament, but everything other than that at the end was just so lackluster. So it kind of sucked to fall out of the top 10 in standings for the end of the year. I ended up getting 11th, which my goal was 10th, so a little bit of a bummer there, but nevertheless, I can't complain. Still definitely the best season of my life. And obviously with the little win that we got, it kind of makes up for it. So we have something to push for next year as well. These all went a little bit deep, but that's kind of what you get for trying to make a shot from 150 feet out. Stay up. Nope. No, it is. Not, is what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, no, it is not, obviously. We got hole 11 here, but I'm gonna skip and play to hole 12 because it's way down there and I kind of want to rip a shot. It's been a while. It's still a little nuke ski action. See if we can get some big distance with the big Z nuke like it's supposed to. I don't want to throw it over that fence though, so I'm gonna throw it low, hopefully. And then skip, and then, okay. Honestly, low-key, this is a sick hole. I'll throw one of the short one too, the actual hole 11, just because, I don't know, man. I guess I play this golf professionally, and then I should probably get some extra reps in, throw some shots and practice and stuff. And up shots are a pretty important part of the game. If you can give yourself 10 feet instead of 25 feet or 30 feet every time, can really take some pressure off you. All said and done, 2025 was awesome. It was great, man. To have that many good tournaments and be in contention that much and improve that much from 2024 really means a lot, and it's nice to have that trajectory. So I need to bounce back off of the slow end of 2025 and then hit 2026 hard. I think I'm gonna definitely want to apply some of those changes that I made again in 2026. I'm kind of slacking off right now, but that's kind of what the off season is for. I want to like let myself chill out a little bit so I can get fired up again for 2026. It's kind of like a Monday fun day, but for like a month, you know what I mean? Or maybe 2 months. And then I can get back into it and really get going in 2026. I also, a couple of changes I need to make. I need to keep improving my throwing. That's the most important part of the game. Putting is a bonus. I do think all the travel this season that I did took a strain on my putting a little bit because I wasn't able to get as much practice in on like my own basket as I'd want to. So it'd be nice if I can keep my putting good all season long instead of just the first half of the season. And then I've got to just keep improving my throwing. I mean, that's really, if I want to be a top 5 guy, I'm going to have to just throw the disc a lot better and improve the OB weight even more, improve the body percentage, the C1 in regulation, improve all those things to where I can be a real threat every single weekend and not just, you know, every like thought event. I want to be in contention at every single tournament. I want to win every single tournament, and I'm sick of getting anything but fourth place. Winning's way too fun to not get it, so we need some more of that this next season. All right, this is absolutely nuts, guys. We have a triple Mando hole. This is like some top quality stuff out here. This back nine's proving to be kind of a beast. I'm gonna throw this super cool little ESP Hallex I've been liking a lot. Practice my little tight flex game, keep it low, let the fade turn the disc into nose up, and then get that little lift so I can throw it low and have it still fly. Let's try it out. Get past it. Skip. It did. Go. Yes. Solid. Little sketchy, but solid. All right, so thank you guys. Thank you all for following me along this season. Hopefully it was the funnest one yet for you. I know I got uncovered a lot more this year, so that was nice. And I hope you guys enjoyed tuning in. I know it was definitely the most fun season for myself as well, and the most successful, so you definitely want more of that. I do want to shout out the Goose Man for grinding out the season with me. We made quite a few YouTube videos, I think every single week, pretty much. Every tournament we made a YouTube video, and it's definitely a grind, but I appreciate that you guys continue to watch and enjoy the videos somehow. Definitely more fun to film with someone else too. Hopefully you guys enjoy this kind of content as well, kind of just walking and talking. And then also, of course, special and huge shout out to Eli for helping us all season long, take just a massive amount off of our plates each and every week with all the filming and editing that he's done. Did such a great job this season, and man, honestly, without him, it would have been a lot different. So we were able to just focus more pointedly on our play and not as much on the social media side of things. So he really helped out a lot. And I know you guys enjoyed his filming and editing, so look forward to more of that next year, hopefully. Little Halleck's shot to see one edge, I would say. Nice. Nice. I will say, guys, this Halleck's is honestly kind of kicked out the like oval stable onyx slot in my bag since I started bagging one of these. It's held that stability up a little bit better than the onyxes that I had. They ended up beating in kind of quick, and so this Halleck's has been really nice. You guys have not tried the Halleck's out yet. Discraft's making some really good discs, and I would highly recommend it, especially if you like onyxes or vultures and want to try something that's pretty similar, but just a different name, I guess. But they're fun. I like them. That's a nice line. Drop. Oh. Challenger SS. One of the most underrated puddles in the game, guys. I know everybody likes their Lunas and stuff, but I have been loving Charlie SS's for, oh my gosh, 4 years now. Almost my entire Discraft career. It's so nice. Only a couple holes left out here, guys. This course is kind of fun, though. I like it. I would say it's very short, obviously. Oh, go in. Please go in. Do you see the shot? You probably can't see anything on that phone because I can't zoom. I need Eli back. I need someone to film. God, it was so close. Stay right. I do feel like I'm getting more dialed in already, and it's only one day. I have not been practicing a whole lot this offseason. But I like how this course has grass. It's kind of just chai. That's on every hole, but I don't mind either. Trying to get a nice little finish with my throw, nice little pop. It's that last millisecond of the throw that's the most important. You can kind of do whatever you want out here with your form, make it look all wacky. As long as you get it back on the right path at the very last second, it might go where you want it to go. That one did not quite go where I wanted it to go. Hole 18. Last chance to get an ace. That's the effort I give. Come on, baby. Fade. Fade. All right, we're gonna try a zone. Little flex shot. Nicholas Angela shot. No, why is it not lift? And why is it not like lift and then fade back and just always go in the basket? What a crazy game that'd be if it happened. Final hole. All right. This course is all right. I kind of like it. I think it'd be fun too to kind of like, oh, did I just break the basket? Not a good sign. But it'd be kind of fun to do like a safari type situation where you just like skip a hole every single time, like I did a couple times, but every single one to make like full length holes. But either way, folks, that's gonna do it. Thank you all for watching and tuning in as always. I literally wouldn't be out here if it wasn't for you guys, so thanks for all the continued support. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm just really grateful because yeah, it's a dream job. And if I was out here by myself, without you guys tuning in sometimes, I don't think I'd be out here. So really appreciate it. And again, make sure to drop any questions you got for me for my Q&A video coming up. I think that'll be a fun one. And again, even if you ask some crazy questions, I might not answer them, but it'll be good clickbait to put on the thumbnail. So ask me whatever you want. It can be about disc golf, traveling, gym, fitness, well, whatever you want to ask me about, honestly. But with all those thoughts that I gave in this video, here's one final thought. I don't actually know anything, guys. I don't have anything figured out. It's also possible that all the changes that I felt like I made, I was guaranteed to, like I didn't actually have any choice in it, like maybe we're just living in a simulation, or at the very least, maybe God just has a plan written out and we're just kind of experiencing life through a first person view and it feels like we have control, but we actually don't, because it just seems like stuff's so random sometimes too. So I don't know, crazy stuff to think about. But either way, I do want to thank God for this chapter of my life that he's written for me. It was one of the best ones so far, and I'm excited to see what the next page is. And I also want to thank him for a healthy season 2. A lot of people battle injuries and stuff like that, and I got through another season where I could play fully and freely and just continue to compete. So that's a really big blessing that I don't want to take for granted. But thank you guys again, and let me know in the comments if you like this style of video where it's a little bit more walking and talking and just like kind of personal. But I've been yapping for way too long, so I'm going to cut the video right here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.